can an artist succeed so much that we forget that they're there? Many of the projects they complete never see mainstream media. It's just the one performance out of many that make them known by the world, and then falling back into something new that they need to create in. Looking at the career of Joaquin Phoenix, it's hard to wrap your mind around the success he's worked out of characters, but all the while keeping a private life to his own self, not looking for attention or accolades from the public, but simply working his art, his craft, and moving on to what he desires next. Joaquin's career seems to be just falling into a new decade of storytelling. It almost seems that Joaquin isn't real because he's made so many different people that he's presented to the world. They don't seem to be going away. They're ones that can't escape your mind. So what's left and what's next for Joaquin Phoenix? When we look at where we are in the world today, it seems as though movies, being the driving force of cinema, are not as desired and respected as they were even a decade ago, and that a lot of new actors don't have the same tick when capturing people's attention. Maybe this is the end, slipping its lack of interest into theaters, but we know from the past that things come back around. Joaquin, being one of the last few big actors to make films with big budgets, with big impacts, is holding up a pillar in filmmaking. In the film Signs, there's something about his character, Merle, just a young man that is seeming lost in his own life, somewhat of a self-pity, walking away from his past life as a small-town baseball player that holds records for bad and good. But in the middle of all this, while living with his brother and their two young children that have lost their mother in a horrific way, and his brother who's lost his faith and outwardly showing his struggle, Merle's life is interrupted, almost as a gift to reset his mind, when beings from another planet invade Earth and attack their family. His ability to capture moods is breathtaking. When he's called to do just that, he executes his objectives. He suffered his own loss in many of the worst ways, losing his own brother in his arms. At a young age, there's no doubt it's made lifelong nightmares that creep in from time to time. The unloved, desperate spirit of Commodus is a triumph when you dig into the character. The son that desires power, love, so much so he kills his father, smothering him to death. And from that point on, the love that he so wanted from people and power is now centered around fear from the world, swerving from character to character. Some could say it's unstableness in one's mind, but an element one can use for success. It seems that Joaquin has found a muscle for developing personalities that are so luring to many people. It makes you wonder why every actor can't tap into this realm that we see Joaquin bring to film. There's no doubt it's rare. Joaquin's character in the movie To Die For seems almost that he's already found the awkwardness and shyness of the unloved outcast, where he'll do whatever he needs to have someone love and pay attention to him and be respected. This character, Jimmy, it almost seems to follow Joaquin into the next 2 decades. Many different personalities developing from this one character. Jimmy, a person that society pushes away. He becomes a villain, but soon enough, you find pity for him, warming up to him. A hard upbringing, the sweet lost boy seems to resemble someone decades later that the world will find fascinating. Joaquin would mold a new character for a generation of misery and lost roads and uncertainty for society. The world found love with a heroic villain that captivates everyone's attention. Arthur, he's unlike anything we've seen before. It's truly a masterpiece by Joaquin. He's built Arthur out of his mind, looking in front of a mirror. Arthur, diagnosed with PBA, causing unwanted laughter or crying, where he's in uncomfortable moments, a disorder that people can be scared of if they run into someone with this, not understanding what's happening right in front of them. But Arthur, from what we found, was full of rage, but rage that soon inspires him. It's interesting and exhilarating to think of the moments Joaquin was carving out the personality of Arthur. Simple traits of breathing, eating, emotion towards a simple hello, goodbye. It's the simpleness that so many people are attracted to with Arthur. Little pieces of Arthur people find in themselves. We can see that Joaquin has built a background of Arthur resulting from childhood trauma, where Arthur in no doubt suffers from PTSD, but with that PTSD, Arthur seems to be locked in a childhood-like form pattern, missing social cues that simply build his personality to where people find him weird now as an adult. Sadly, where it causes Arthur to be bullied, in the world Arthur lives in, is shown the cruelty and unfairness, savagery of people, where the ones that have blemishes that people can't understand and don't take the time to break them down by poking at them because they don't fit the narrative of normal people. The film, The Joker, you find yourself at a crossroad, liking, maybe even loving the character of Arthur. Maybe it's pity more than not, but like many people that can start an uprising, Arthur will step in unknown waters, inspiring people. How has Joaquin found Napoleon in himself, the leader, the person, and the warrior? It's amazing when you think of what is left for Joaquin Phoenix. He's still young, in all accounts, and the proof that's in the pudding is that he keeps getting better at his craft that he takes serious as time slips into new decades. There's still personalities in his mind that have not been seen nor heard. Not only will Napoleon be a role that will live on for Joaquin, but Arthur will have his moment in the sun again. His anger will show new sides of his face and will soon capture many people's attention with the second installment of Arthur's life. Joaquin is an actor that will have his name carved in stone for all of time to come. It's a feeling of gratefulness to know we have something like Joaquin right in front of us right now. We trust his ability to keep justifying stories, weird art, or how he sees a character, slipping it into films. Joaquin, we love what he does, and we look forward of what he thinks is special.